Welcome everyone. There's a good few people coming in there now. We might just hold on another minute or so and we'll get started then straight away. We won't keep you too long. All right, Chris, you might just let me know that you can see
you can see the PowerPoint there now, yeah.
Okay. So hello everyone. You're very welcome to another webinar this evening. So tonight's webinar, over the next 30 minutes or so, we won't keep you too long. Like I said, we'll be going over the basics of Herdwatch. So you're either a new customer in recent months or you just want to get to know a few of the features a little bit better. So that's what we hope to get through with tonight. So just to introduce myself, my name is Katie Shanahan and I am in content marketing here with Herdwatch, and I'm joined with Chris Good, who is tech support lead. So the two of us will try and make things a little bit clearer for you over the next 30 minutes or so. So just to give you a little bit of a backstory, so Herdwatch now have over 21,000 members worldwide. We have over 2.3 million cattle active in the app today and over 2.9 million calves registered on the app. We have over 1.7 million sheep managed in the app, and recently with the new grass and crops launch, we have over 750,000 acres mapped on Herdwatch. So since Herdwatch was launched back in 2014, we've been helping over 20,000 members with their herd performance and farm compliance. In 2023, we transitioned from Herdwatch to cattle and dairy, sheep and goats, and grass and crops. So it's now just Herdwatch, and then it has the 3 separate services within the one app. So over the next half an hour, we'll go over a few of the basics. These will include herd sync, so basically just getting your cattle down into the app. We'll go over a few integrations with ICBF, CIS, and the National Milk Records. We'll do a little few demos on getting your purchases into the app and then using those treatments on the cattle. Again, a lot of these things work the same for both sheep and the cattle, so it's depending what you are, it'll be fairly similar. We'll briefly go over calf registrations, but next month's webinar will be more focused on calf registrations and also on lambing and things like that. So we'll just give you a brief synopsis, but do tune in next month for a more in-depth and detailed discussion around it. We look at farm to farm movements, so you can do movements in the app as well. Things like creating groups and the different smart lists that are available on the app, and then adding sheep onto the app as well. So if there's any questions throughout from start to finish, you can put them in the Q&A box that's at the top of your screen. I'll keep an eye on it, and then at the very end we can ask a few of the questions and get them answered. But if anything pops into your head from now until then, just pop them into the Q&A and we'll come to them at the very end. So now I'm going to hand over to Chris. He's going to do a live demo on a few of the items that I discussed previously. If you have your phones or your laptops handy, you can pull up the app there and try and join in with him or just have a look around. So I'm just going to stop sharing there, Chris, and you can share away.
Okay, so can you see the screen there now, Katie?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is your main homepage on Herdwatch. So from here you can see your main compliance or your main tiles on the app, as well as your herd on top. So there's a few things I want to cover tonight, as Katie was saying there in the agenda. So the first thing will be getting your herd synced. So you can see here, once your herd is synced, all your animals download into the Herdwatch app. Now, for different regions, it differs. So say for Ireland, once you have your ag food details and you select Herdwatch as your software provider on ag food, all your animals automatically sync down into the Herdwatch app, and that'll update on a daily basis. Now, if you don't have your AgFood details, you may need to contact the department. But once you have them, you can select Herdwatch, and that'll set up the link between. For Northern Ireland, we need your NIFES gateway ID and password, as well as your business ID in order to sync. For UK, it's your CTS user ID and password. And for Scotland, it's your Scotty ID login details. So it's generally your email, your username, and your password. And once we have those details, then automatically the animals will flow down into Herdwatch. And from there, we get a daily kind of status from the departments as to the animals that's in your herd. So if you had animals that moved out, or you had an animal that went to the knackery, the animals will automatically update here in the app as accordance to they're moving in and moving out. Now, if you're doing your processing your movements in app, I'll come to that in a few minutes. So you can see here, this is your herd list. So once the animals are downloaded, every animal then gets its individual profile. So from that, we get the basics of information such as their tag number, breed, age, gender. And then over the course of the time, say when you're inputting your records on Herdwatch, you build up a history on the animal. So say when you're putting in your medicines, your weights, any of them records against the animals to build up here, as well as when you're recording your calf registrations, your progeny will build up as well against the dams in your herd. So I think the next thing on the agenda was in regards to integrations with ICVF, NMR, and CIS. So with NMR and CIS, we link for the milk accordance. So for your milk accordance with CIS, you need to fill out the application form. It's found on the website on Herdwatch. And once you have the permission form filled in and sent back to CIS, we'll start receiving the information into Herdwatch. And then with NMR, once we have your herd companion login details, we're able to receive the recordings over. Now for ICVF in Ireland here, it can be done differently. So you can sync your ICVF through the Herdwatch app by going into the settings section. And in settings, you'll see the option here to sync with ICVF. Now all you need is your username and password. And once we have those details, we'll start receiving information across on your animals that are in your herd into the app. Now, if you don't know your ICVF login details, you can give ICVF a call. They'll set up your free account. Once you get the details from them, you can sync on the Herdwatch app or give us a call in the office and we can do it with you. And then we'll get the information within a day or so into the app. So all that information that you're able to bring in, it all helps the animal's profile. Say over the course of time that you're able to check the details on the animal. So for the likes of this animal, we're getting milk accordance in, so we can see the milk accordance data here, some of its breeding performance. All this information can help you have a better kind of profile on the animal in the app. Now there's a few other sections I'm going to be commenting in regards to your animals and say managing the animals within the app. But firstly, what I'll go to is your medicines, because I know it's a important section for everyone when it comes to keeping on top of your medicines, because when an inspection or an audit comes around, you need to have everything in order. So Herdwatch helps you manage that very well through the app by having your medicine cabinet. So you can see here by going into compliance and remedies and treatments, you have your cabinet, which is a full list of any medicines that are currently in your stock that you've added in. You have a list of your treatments that you've done in the past. And from that, when you put in your withdrawals, you also are able to track your withdrawals in the app here as well. So the first thing I'll do is I'll show you how to add a remedy purchase. So first thing you do is your plus sign here is where you go to kind of add in any record. It's the handiest tool, say, on the app. You're going to use that so many times when you're using Herdwatch. So the first thing you do is go remedy purchase, and you can search for your list, your medicine from the list. Or if there's a QR code or barcode, you can scan it. Now I'm using the PC version here, so I can't scan, but you can scan using this on your mobile phone. Now the handy thing with the scan function as well is that if there's a QR code in the packaging, once you have the purchase scanned with the barcode, when you come to the section for your batch number and your expiry date, there's an option to scan again, and you can scan the QR code on the box of your medicine there, and that will bring in that information for you. So it's kind of it kind of speeds up the process for you. So I'm going to add in some Albex. I think it's the handiest here. So we'll go for the Albex. Now, if I've this purchase added in previously onto Herdwatch or Flockwatch, it'll ask you here, do you want to bring across the previous information from the purchase? So you can press yes. So you're just filling, so any of the red fields here are required fields that you need to fill in the app. So your date of purchase, your unit of measure, so the quantity. So for the sake of the demo, I'll just put in about 100 ml, supplied by pay with co-op. So my average dose. So if you can leave that blank if you want, and you can fill it in at the treatment. But if you want to put in your average dose of 20 ml, you can do that here. You can select your treatment reason. So there's a full list of treatment reasons available in the app. So you can select your different treatment reason as to why you're using this medicine. Now you have the option here as well to input withdrawals. So if we have the information on the withdrawals, you can select input and that'll update withdrawal here. But if your withdrawals differ, you can input or just update them in the app here, and we just change the numbers. Now, if you also want to change the withdrawal for some treatments to go by hours, if you select this toggle here, it'll change your number of days to 2 hours or vice versa. Now, if the treatment has sheep withdrawals as well, you can just select this toggle and you can input your sheep withdrawals. So it's handy if it's a dual treatment. So say if you're using it both for sheep and cattle in your herd, that if you select this at the time of purchase, it makes it easier when you are going to do the treatment. So you're prescribing vet as well for any treatments that it's prescribed. You can just select your vets, and then you might see this flag up at the bottom of your screen. So if this is your main vet, that you're only using one vet on the farm, for any of your prescriptions or any say activities in the farm, you can set that contact as your main vet. So going forward, whenever I'm putting in a purchase, this vet will pop up in here. So you might have so this section here is in regards to your batch number. So your scan QR code option will pop up here. So if you have the QR code on the packaging, you can press the scan QR function there, and that will bring up the camera on your device, and you're able to scan the QR code, and that will bring in the batch number and the expiry. So I'll just put in a batch number there and the expiry. Let's say it is next year, so December 2024, 31st. Okay, so you have, these are all optional fields. If you want to upload an image, put in the purchase, who was bought by, the cost, if you want to add in any notes. So once you press save, that adds that remedy purchase to your cabinet. So from here, then you can go and do your treatment. So there's two ways of doing your treatment. So if you're in the purchase, you can just press the plus sign and go use this remedy. Or else if you're on your home screen and you've already added in the purchase from a couple of days ago, you can just go plus sign, cattle treatment. Now this will flag up two options. So you can either select the treatment from your cabinet, or you can go treatment only, which is a new process that we have, where you can upload just your treatment, select your medicine from the list, do the treatment, and you can go back at a later stage and add in your purchase, or upload a picture of the prescription. But for the purpose of the demo, I'm going to go to the remedy cabinet. So from here, you'll see a full list of what's available in my cabinet. So there's option here as well when you're doing treatments that you can do a dual treatment. So if I was doing two treatments at the one time, I can select both and go next. And that speeds up the process, that if you're doing a dual treatment at the crush, you can select them and do the one task. So for the Albex, I just want to do the Albex on its own. So when I press next, I put in the date of the treatment. It was administered by Mabel. And your dose per animal per day will come from your purchase, or else we'll give you, on certain treatments here, the recommended dosage will appear. So if my recommended dosage is 20 ml, treatment reason I can select here again, but if you would have selected on your purchase, it will flow over. The withdrawals will come across from the purchase, as well as your batch number, and then you have the optional fields here. So you can add in a group description if you want. If it was a vet call out, you can select this toggle here. If you're doing any treatments, say dry offs, you have the option for, if you're doing a dry off treatment, you need to select the treatment, treatment reason here is dry off. But there's different options if you're doing the hoof care, you can select the options here at the bottom. So once you have your treatment details filled in, just press next, and that'll bring you to a full list of your animals in herd. So from here, you have a few different options. I can go and I can search the animal on top, and I can select the animal from here. I can scroll down through my list. Now you see here at the side, you might notice this number here, 12, 13, 14. This is the year the animal was born. So based on whatever settings you have set your app as, the animals will show according to this setting here is set as age from oldest to youngest. So you can scroll down and select the animal from the list. Now, if it was a group treatment, or say a group treatment you were doing, and you had a group set up in Herdwatch, you can go into groups, select a group, and press select all. Or if I want to remove an animal from this selection, I just deselect it here. Now we have the option here as well with the smart lists, which are pre-populated lists by Herdwatch. I'll be covering this in a while. So if I want to find animals quickly that were within a certain age group or had a set purpose, I can go in here to the smart list and select them from there. So once I'm happy with what animals I've selected for the treatment, I can just press save. Now, if you've used it, this after prompted me that I'm after selecting too many animals for the amount of those that I have available. So you can go back to your selected animals, deselect what you need to, and press save. And that's your treatment then saved. So you'll see here now this treatment is in my treatment lists. And from there with the withdrawals that's put against them animals, those animals are currently showing the withdrawal list here. So that's with doing your remedy treatment. Now, it may differ from say from regions with what treatments are available in the lists. But say this is a general synopsis as to how it works across the board. Now, if you were doing a sheep treatment, if you want to switch to flock watch, so if you go apps, sheep and goats, it's the same process. So if I go sheep treatment, you have the option to go on treatment only or from your cabinet. So when I select the treatment I want to use, you can link it to the animals that's in your flock on flock watch, or else you can put in a general note. So you fill in the same details here. Administered by, your dose per animal. Now you put in your number of sheep at this stage. So if I'm giving it to 1 ewe, I'll say 2 ewes, I can just put in a description here. And ewes in front shed or whichever group you want to call it. And once you press next, once you the section's filled out, it'll allow you to save it then as well as the treatment there. So that's in regards to your treatments using Herdwatch and Flockwatch and your purchases. Now, if you have any questions, pop them through the Q&A there, as Katie said, and we'll try and come back to any questions that you have. I'm just conscious of your time there. So a few other sections then as well I'm going to cover is calf registration. So as I'm using an Irish herd here, I'll switch back to cattle and dairy. So registering calves is going to be covered better, it's covered in a webinar next month, but a quick kind of overview of registering a calf and Herdwatch at the moment. So you can just go plus sign, select calf, select your gender. So we go female. From here then, if you have your, once you scan, you can scan your tag using your phone. So if you press the scan tag option on your phone, it'll allow you to scan the barcode on the tag. In Ireland, say in Ireland, Scotland, Northern Ireland, we have the select next tag option. So if you press select next tag, we'll have a list of your available tags, or else you can type in the digits here at the end. Once you put in your date of birth, calf and difficulties, and then it brings it to your dam list. So once you select on dam, it'll bring you to a list of animals that haven't calved yet, or what dams are available in the herd for registration. So you can just select them from the list here. And any breeding event that was against that dam, so the most recent breeding event that was against that dam will show up here as your stock bull. Now, in the event, or stock bull or AI bull. So in the event that you know that this is incorrect, that it was an AI bull or a different stock bull that will be the sire to this calf, you can just click on it here and change it. So your sire breeds automatically calculated here on Ireland. You have optional fields here for BDGP. You put in your pedigree name, your genetic dam, if the calf is stillborn, calf weight, purpose, freeze brand, all these options are available. So once you're happy with the details, you can press save. So if there's any discrepancies in it, I say in the registration that we can see from our side before it goes to the department or to the ministry, we'll flag up an alert here. So you can see here that this tag number already exists. So I can go back and I can edit this. So for the purpose of the demo, I'll just go save. So this option will flag up here now where I can register the calf now with the department. So if I don't want to register the calf immediately, I can just press not now, and I can look over the details that I've inputted. When I'm happy to register, I can press register calf now. You enter your Herdwatch PIN, and then that'll go to the department. Now, as I said, look, this may differ from regions as to say how it's handled, but if you have any questions on it, just pop us a message or send us a message into the Q&A and we can come back to it. So that's calf registration. Another section I'm going to cover is in regards to movements. So movements may vary on your regions as well, but for Ireland, you can process your movements in and movements out from farm to farm using Herdwatch. In Ireland as well, if you're sending animals to the knackery, they'll automatically be processed by the knackery and the animals will be moved out of the herd, as well as if they go to the mart or the factory, they'll automatically move out for you. But if you're doing a farm to farm movement, you can just select the plus sign. So I'm moving cattle out, so select movement out. I enter the buyer's herd number. I can set up the buyer as a contact if I'm going to be selling to him on a regular basis. So once I have the buyer's herd number inputted, I can put in the sale price or any of the details here, and then I can just select next. So in Ireland, you can put 10 animals on one cert. So if I'm moving 12 animals, I have to do 2 individual movements. So from here, I can select 10 animals I want to move. I'll move 7 there, so I can press save. And once I have this movement created, I can press apply for cert. Now this cert, once you press apply for cert, it'll ask you for your Herdwatch PIN. This will go to department and the department will return to Herdwatch with your cert number. So the cert is emailed to you directly by the department, but the cert number will display in the app here in your note section below. So that's your 10-digit code that you can give to the buyer, and the buyer can input that and to accept the animals into their herd. Now, if you bought cattle off a farmer and the farmer gave you a cert number and you wanted to accept them through Herdwatch, on your home page, if you press the plus sign and go movement in, if you input your cert number here on the app with your movement date, when you press next and input your Herdwatch PIN, that'll bring up the animals that are available on that cert. So once you select the animals from that cert and press save, that'll process it with the department and them animals will automatically move into your herd. So it's movements made easier, say using the Herdwatch app when you're moving cattle farm to farm. So that's in regards to movement. So as I said, it differs on regions, but look, if you have any questions, just pop us a message there through the app or through the Q&A. Creating groups is another common feature when you're getting up and going with Herdwatch. So it's handy, say, when it comes to dosing or doing any sort of management task in the app on the say for your farm. So creating a group is very handy. So if you press your plus sign, or else you have the option here as well if you want to search it here on top. I want to even type in using groups. So I want to create a group. I put in my title. So I can say pen 1. So that's the cattle I have in the first pen in the shed. I can press next. And from here, I can search the animals. I can scroll down to the list and select them. Or as I said, I can go into the smart list and I can find animals there through the different groups that are available. Now you might notice the Bluetooth icon here in the top. If your animals have EID tags, Herdwatch and Flockwatch connect with certain readers, a couple of readers, so you can connect your reader and use the reader as well if you're creating groups, which is handy. Handy way of doing that. So when you're happy with what animals you have selected, you can press save, and that's that group created. Now, if you want to view that group, you can just click into My Herd, go into Groups, Show All Groups, and then the group I created was Pen 1. So if I know I'm going to be doing a task to this group, I can press the plus sign, and I can select the 5 animals from this group. And from here, I can create different tasks like cattle treatment. I can add them missing tag order, a general job or note, a hoof care task, body condition sworn. There's a number of tasks that you can do, say direct from the group itself. And that means when you have the task details filled in, them animals are already selected. Just a handy thing to note. The smart list then you might see here. So as I said earlier, these are pre-populated lists by Herdwatch. So from say from everything from say animals age groups to animals that have left your herd. So in Ireland, we'll have 18 months, say, of your animals that have left your herd. It might differ in other regions as well, say with the UK. It might differ, say, with what animals in your moved out list from when you got going with Herdwatch. But from here, if you forgot to put in a treatment and you have an audit coming up and the animal's left your herd, it's very easily find that animal in the app and add the treatment against it. As well, if you had an animal that was a stock bull and it's left the herd and you want to go back and set him as a stock bull, you'll find the animal here and you can make that adjustment there. Your other smart list options, as I said, is your age groups. Handy thing to note if you're fattening cattle, you're able to kind of get a quick look overview of what animals are 24 months plus. And you have options in what animals were born on the farm, bought in. You can, if you set an animal that you want to cull, your dairy animals, fattening animals, all your different options that are available there. So that's in regards to your smart lists. And the final thing on the agenda we have this evening is say creating sheep. So if you want to go back over to Flockwatch, so go apps, sheep and goats, and in here, same thing, you're going back to good old reliable plus sign. And I want to go add sheep. So there's a few different options. You can add the sheep using your EID reader if you connect it to the app, or else if you want to add an individual sheep, I can select the animal type. So it was born on the flock, its purpose. So your different purposes are available: cull ewe, breeding ewe, lamb, ram, and wether. So if it's breeding ewe, the gender will automatically populate. You can put in the tag number here. You can put in the general age of the animal, so it's a 4-year-old roughly. Date of birth will default say at the start of the year, but you can make that adjustment if you know the date of birth of the animal. Your breed options, you'll have a full list of all your breeds that are available. So just spell text. If you know the dam or the sire of that ewe, you can fill in these details here. Pedigree name is also available. Your weight. So I'll just put in a management tag number here for this animal of say 25. So when I'm happy that I have the details here, the sheep added, I can just press save. So that animal has been created now on Flockwatch. And at a later date, if I want to add that animal's EID number or tag number, I can just select the add tag option here on top. And that will add the animal's tag to the profile. So over the course of time, say you can build up your flock on Flockwatch. But if you do have an Excel file of your animal tag numbers or your flock, we have a flock template that if you want to make contact with us, we can send you the flock template and then you can say send us on the details and we'll upload your flock onto Flockwatch. That's all kind of we have on the agenda for tonight. Katie, is there a few questions after coming through or?
There is, yeah. So you might just stay on the share there and some of them you might have to demo. So Diarmid asks, can I get milk recordings in the app?
Yep. So as I said, once we connect with ICBF, NMR, and CIS, once you have recordings on their system, they'll come into the Herdwatch app. So to find your milk recordings on Herdwatch, you click into Performance, Milk Recordings, and from here you can look at the recordings based on a per cow basis or the herd average. Now this account here should have recordings on it. So once it'll show your most recent recording that we've received. But if you want to filter back on previous recordings, just press the magnifying glass and filter, and you can change the date of the recording here. So that's based on a per cow basis, or else you can look at it in herd average, and I'll give you a full kind of synopsis of that recording itself.
Perfect. John asked, how do I edit a group?
Okay, so if I want to add animals to a group or remove animals, I go into my herd, click into groups, I select the group that I want to edit. So if I look at 2022 calves, click on the 3 dots in the top right hand corner and edit. Now any task that you've created in Herdwatch, if you want to edit it, just remember them 3 dots are here, and if you press that, the edit option should be there. You can edit that task or edit the group even as well. So I can edit the title if I want, or else if I press next, once I select on the animals selected, I can remove the animals from here, or if I know an animal's tag number, I can search it, I can remove that animal. And once I press save, it'll prompt you here if there's animals in that group that have since moved out, if you want to leave them included, it'll ask you if you want to leave it or not. So just press yes for this.
Perfect. And then I suppose a movement following on from that question with groups. Can one animal be in the same? Can be in two groups.
Yeah, it can be multiple groups.
Okay, perfect. Mary asks, where do I get my reports for the inspection?
Okay. So for any of your reports, you click into management here, and the report section will be in your center tile. So you'll see a full selection of all the reports that Herdwatch does. So from department inspections, breeding reports, weights, hoof care, grass and crops, there's a full selection of reports available. So for board BA, or say your inspection for red tractor or quality assurance, department inspection of board BA, and all your list of reports will be available. Now the reports may differ, say, in your region, but once you click into reports and say red tractor audit, or say quality assurance or BA, the reports will come up. Now a handy feature here to note, say in Ireland, and you say if you click on the generate all reports option on top, and you put in your date from and your day to, so within your inspection period, and once you select generate, we'll send on the reports listed here in one batch to you.
Another question in, what do I do if the remedy is not on the list when adding in a purchase?
Okay, so if adding a purchase and the remedy is not available, if you go remedy purchase, you see this option here for remedy not on list. So if you click that, you can select it if it's cattle only remedy, or it's cattle and sheep, or if it's another animal. So for argument's sake, if you're putting in a dog warmer into the app, you can select this option here. But say if it's a cattle and sheep treatment and it's not available, you can type in the remedy names and all the details of that. Once you press save, it'll show in your cabinet the very same as any of the other purchases.
Okay, brilliant. Isabel asked, have we a list of EID readers that work with Herdwatch?
Yep, so there's a few different readers that connect with Herdwatch. And there is the Offense LPR, there's the AWR 250 and 300 as far as operating numbers. I think that's it. And then the True Test reader as well. There's the XRS2 and the SRS2. And if there is other readers, Herdwatch is looking at connecting it, but they're the readers that we support at the moment.
Yeah, and I suppose if you are thinking about getting an EID reader, you're safer just using the message feature in the app and popping us a message and just confirming, does this reader work before you purchase it, rather than buying something that doesn't connect with Herdwatch. So you're probably better off just popping us a message maybe tomorrow, and someone on the team will get back to you straight away. Let me read back. There's a good few questions now, so I'm just going to try and pick out the most common ones.
If you don't get to any of some of the questions tonight, we'll follow up with you tomorrow and the customer support team. Or else if you want to pop us a message through the app, your message center is down here in the bottom corner, and you can just send the team a message. So ask a question, and then you get through to the team here.
I suppose just the last question here, it's come up a few times. If I put dry offs onto ICBF, do they come down onto Herdwatch, like the name of the dry tubes and sealers used, or am I better off putting them into Herdwatch first?
If you're drying off your cows, you're better off to your dry off treatment through Herdwatch for your own records, because you're building up the profile against the animal. If you're inputting it on ICBF, we only get the status of the dry off for the animal, but you're better off just do your treatments through Herdwatch, because you're building up the profile there, and especially when it comes to the audit, you'll have all your dry off treatments as a part of your reports as well.
And I suppose last question, can the app be launched on a browser?
Yes. So we have Herdwatch available on PC, phones, tablets, but also there's a web browser option. And if I can get the link down from the top, you might see it better. Can you see there on top, Katie, that link?
Not really, no.
There's a stop sharing here, and I'll get it up for you. 1 second.
Yeah.
The proper. Yeah, so it's app.herdwatch.com. Should bring you to the option to log into Herdwatch online.
Perfect. Like Chris said, any questions that have been sent in that have been answered, we'll get back to you over the next day or two with answers to all your questions. But I think we will leave the questions there because I just want to briefly go over a few other things. Again, if you go onto our website, herdwatch.com, there's a few things there in member support at the top. So you just have different articles, video tutorials, previous webinars that we've done, and just general all the features within the 3 different services in Herdwatch. So that's very handy. So that's just herdwatch.com. I suppose then this week we're heading to the Royal Winter Fair up in Balmoral on Thursday. So if you are there, you can use that opportunity to call in to us if you have any questions. Just a reminder that we have the 12 days of Christmas running on social media at the moment on Facebook and Instagram. So every day there's a chance to win a certain prize. So do check those out and enter them. And then I suppose the last 2 things this week or this month, for the month of December, we have doubled our refer a friend scheme. So it's now €100 or £100 off your next renewal if you refer Herdwatch to a friend. And then I suppose we have our December offer as well. If you sign up for 6 months, you get a free Herdwatch gilet that myself and Chris are wearing tonight. So there are just a few things to bear in mind. If you want to take a quick picture of the contact numbers there on the right, feel free to do so. But just remember, you have the message feature in the app as well. And the team are fairly quick to get back to you with any queries that you may have. It's always better just to pop us a message. But like I said, any questions we didn't get to tonight, we'll do our best to get to them tomorrow or the day after that. But I hope it has been informational and you've learned a lot and you're ready to get going now with Herdwatch. I suppose the biggest thing is getting your animals in there and then you should be ready for road. So thanks to my co-host Chris for your demo. It was very, very good. And make sure to join in for next month's webinar. We'll be going into depth more on lambing and calf registrations and all that follows for the busy season ahead. So thank you all for joining and we'll see you at the next one.